Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's tutorial, I'm going to go over the tar command in Linux. The tar command is a very important command that you should be learning if you are an up-and-coming developer and you are working on the Linux system. So what is the tar command? Now, the tar just means tape archive. We are archiving folders on our system. Now, why should you learn the tar command if there are other softwares or stuff you can use? Well, when you're on the command line, there is not really that luxury to use some type of software to zip or unzip your file. If you are working for any type of company and they're using their software, they're running their program on the Linux system, or you build that program on the Linux system, you have to know how to shrink or compress that file into a smaller file in order for you to port it on different machines. So we're talking about portability here when it comes to certain applications. Another reason why you should learn the tar command to preserve some space of your system, right? So there are lots of reasons and important reasons why you should learn the tar command in Linux. So on my left, I have my file explorer open so you can see what's going on in the folder at the same time while we're running some of the commands. Inside of the folder that I'm currently in right now, I have a bank app with class folder, and I also have a find and grep folder as well with a little bash test script. Now, if I go ahead and I run the ls command here, you would see the Linux test folder. So I'm going to make my way into that folder. And if I do another ls, you would see the same set of folders and files that I have in here. Now, to archive any file in Linux, you have to use the tar command, and you have to feed tar some options. Now, there are several different options you can use in tar, but the most popular ones I'm going to show in this tutorial. The first option that I want to look at is the C option, and the C option means to create. So you're telling tar to create this file for me. If you do not put the C option in there, nothing would not happen. So you have to feed tar the C option to create some type of backup or archive for you. The next option I'm going to look at is the V option, and the V option means verbose, and verbose acts like the ls-l command, and what that does is when the file is archiving, it will show you what is going on. It will show you the information on your screen while tar is running its process or doing its thing. The next option that I want to show you is the P option, and the P option is not mandatory. Also with the V, it's not mandatory that you use it when you're creating any type of archive. However, I like using it because I want to see what's going on. The P option gives you that opportunity to preserve your permission. So let's say, for example, you have a file and the permission of the file is 755. You want, when you archiving that file, you want to keep that permission. If you don't use the P option, the file will still be created. However, the permission will not be preserved. So you would have to go back and give the permission to that file or create that permission to that file using the chmod command. The next option that I wanted to show is the Z option, and the Z option just simply tell tar to compress this file into a smaller file. And the last option for the tar command is the F option, and the F option just means the file name. You have to put the F option with the tar and you give it the name of the file. So that's all of the options that I want to use to archive this file. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give tar the name of the file. Now the bank app with class is a folder that has some C++ files in here. I want tar to archive that folder for me. So I can go ahead and give my folder a name. So I'm going to call my folder maybe bank app with class .tar. Now tar is not mandatory. However, most developers or programmers, they use the .tar, so when you go back a couple months from now or a year from now, you would know that that file or that folder is a archive folder or a compressed file. Sometimes you would see .gz, and .gz also the same as .tar, just to tell you that it's a compressed file. However, I don't really use .gz. Once I see .tar, I know this is a compressed file, so I'm going to leave it as a .tar. And then you have to tell the tar command which folder that you want to compress. So I want to compress the bank app with class folder, so I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and you see the -v option let us see what is going on while tar is processing. So the command is finished. Now let's go back to the folder, and we're going to refresh the screen, and we should see our tar file here. So this is our tar file that we just compressed using the command line. Now I'm going to go ahead and clear my screen. With the tar command, if you are archiving, or if you want to archive a file, or if you want to compress a file and you don't want to include certain folders or certain files with the archive file, for example, if you have a file that have a bunch of videos or have a bunch of pictures and you don't want to archive any video or picture file, you can feed tar the command to exclude certain folders or files. So in my grep file, I'm going to exclude the .csv file. So I want to archive that folder, but I don't want the .csv file to be part of it. So I'm going to say tar, and I'm going to give the option that I just gave before, so which is C, V, P, Z, and F. I'm going to tell tar to name this file find and grep.tar, and to exclude a file, you just have to use the exclude option. So I can say exclude, and then you're going to give it the equal sign, and inside of the quotes I'm going to use the asterisk, and the asterisk means wildcard. So what the asterisk will do, it will say look for anything before .csv, and then I'm going to close it off. So once they have the extension .csv, I don't want to include it in my archive. And then I'm going to give tar the name of the folder that I want to archive. So I want to archive find and grep, and I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. The folder has just been archived. So if I go ahead and I refresh, you would see my file in here. So if I double click the original file, you would see the .csv, and when the archive happens, there is no .csv file here. So you can also see the content of a compressed file before you extract it. You cannot use the ls command to list the files and folder that is compressed. So if I go ahead and I say ls, and I want to see find and grep.tar file, I should get back some type of error. And you see here the error came back find and grep.tar. It did not list the content that is inside of the find and grep compressed file for me. So in order for you to list the file, you can say tar, and you want the option -t and f. Now -t and f means literally to list the content of the file. So the -t will kind of act like -v, where you can see some of the things that is inside of the tar file. So after the -t and f, you have to tell tar which file or folder that you want to list the content of. So I want to list the content of find and grep.tar, and if I hit enter, it will list all of the files that is inside of that compressed file for me. If I want to extract the find and grep.tar tar file, I can go ahead and do that with the tar command as well. So I can say tar, and I have to feed tar some options to extract the file. So previously we gave it C to create the file. This time we're going to give it X to extract the file, and that's all X mean. X just mean extract the file from archive. And then we're going to give it the V option as well. So I want to see what's going on with my extracted file while tar command is running, and I want to preserve the permission for the file. And I'm also going to give it Z, and the Z just means to unzip or uncompress that file. And I also want F. The F is for the file name. So the file I want to uncompress is my find and grep folder, or find and grep zipped file. So I'm going to say find and grep .tar, and I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. So you didn't see a difference because I already have a file in here called find and grep. Now I can create a different path to send that uncompressed file to. So I'm going to go ahead and create a folder inside of my current folder, and I'm going to call this folder unzipped file. So if I do another ls in here, I should see my unzipped file folder. Now what I want to do, I want to unzip the tar file, but instead of putting it in my current location, I want to change the location and put it somewhere else. So you have to use the dash uppercase C, and you have to feed it the path, or give it the path that you want to put that file in. So I'm going to use the dot, and dot just mean in my current location. So in my current directory that I'm in right now, which is inside of the Linux test folder directory. So look in my current folder and look for a file called unzipped files. And once I hit enter, then that file, that unzipped file, will go straight into that unzipped files folder. Now, before I do that, I'm going to refresh the folder to see my new file. So this is my new file. If I go inside of it, it is empty. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit enter, and my file now is unzipped, and I should see the doc files.doc, file2.txt, and file.txt inside of this folder once I refresh it. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh, and you would see my find and grep folder with all of the data or the files inside of it. So that's how you use the tar command. If you want to port files from different machines, then you can go ahead and use the tar command to do that. So tar is very important for portability. So that's it for this video. If you have learned something from this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. And I will see you guys in the next tutorial.